Hey there, Dota gamers, and welcome back to Shared Tangos. This is episode number 9. It is March 9th, 2020, back at our usual time, right around 9 a.m. Pacific. Beautiful Monday morning, another minor complete. The Starladder minor leading into the Los Angeles Major, just now around the corner. Very exciting stuff. Quick spoiler, Team Aster, they did it. Trent, it was an exciting finals, and I'm excited to talk about this whole tournament with you.
The Team Masters, Team T. I was reading various things about them today. Obviously, they were one of the favorites, I would say, going in. Maybe not necessarily to win it, especially because a lot of people, first off, were probably thinking that Enigma were going to win it. And then, obviously, Alliance knocked them out of the European qualifier, so then they got the one slot from Europe. And Alliance, with the burden of the European region on their shoulders, could not carry through the victory. You know, the fight for the more slots, the 4-slot Europe dream was crushed once again when they didn't win the minor.
Yeah, absolutely. So, a lot to go through this. Was there any other news that we need to tackle? I feel like I've been a little bit out of the loop. Was there any drama, anything pressing that we need to get through before we dive deep into the Starladder mrbigjams Dota 2 minor Season 3?
No, in fact, most of any sort of drama that I have come across actually stems completely from this minor. So there you go.
Oh,
obviously, part of it is going to be talking about the situation with LA. Like, will it happen? Will there be crowd? ESL has been very vigilant in terms of, you know, their public policy and like telling everyone exactly what they know when they hear it. They're like, all right, City of LA just gave us this update. Here's the update, you know, and they even said, you know, if you're coming from very far away, you might want to reevaluate your travel plans because we can't guarantee anything.
I mean, it's fair enough. I don't think you can blame them at this juncture. This is one of those classic, every day there's new news. It's a developing story. And, you know, tomorrow there could be some big change, some new policy, some new travel restriction, either from America or elsewhere. You know, like I don't think there's anything more that we can expect from ESL at this point.
No, not much you can do. But I can give you a little dose of drama if you would like a taste. As
Please.
Our good friends at VP Esports, as in good friends, I mean a website that actually posts articles still. They wrote quite a few articles based off of Chinese translations. I think they've got someone on staff that is a Weibo fiend. Is that how you say it? Anyway, looks like Div.
Weibo?
I don't know. They've got a couple articles up talking about Aster. First off, apparently Aster posted saying they might not even make it to the major because they are missing visas on 3 of their players.
Whoa.
SCCC, Chuan. I saw people saying it's Chuan. Chuan. I don't know. I can't say it.
So
I just call him Chuan.
It's not actually pronounced Chuan the way we've all been saying it.
Supposedly. And then also Bubka do not have visas. That was posted directly after they won. Now he also said, and I hope this isn't a mistranslation, or I hope it is a mistranslation, but he said we didn't apply for U.S. visas when we were in China. So the only option now is to apply from Ukraine. If we can't, then our positions 1, 2, and 4 are done.
I'm having trouble following that in terms of, is it likely to get an American visa as a Chinese national in Ukraine?
I just don't know why you wouldn't have done it before the minor. Like, you guys are hoping to, you know, make some lands this year, right? Just get the damn visa done. I mean, I guess that you know, I'm simplifying it because you're supposed to have certain dates and everything, and you're supposed to have flights, and maybe they're worried that blah blah blah. But like a couple of them, SCCC apparently lost his passport first off, and that's why he doesn't have his old passport that had the visa he lost, so his new passport doesn't have it.
Well,
so that's his problem.
That does really suck. My Chinese visa is in my passport, like literally pasted inside of it. And the visa is longer than my passport's expiration date. So I think I actually need to apply for a new passport soon. But I'm going to be in this window where when I go to China, I'm going to have to carry 2 passports because they won't give you 2 visas at the same time.
Yes, that's right.
So I'll have to carry my old one that will have to match the number of my new one, and then all of it will have to line up. So that I can empathize with that little tidbit. But yeah, I'm with you. I don't understand the reason of not applying for visas.
Seems a little crazy.
Unless you really think that your chance of winning is just low, yeah, we're not going to win. We're not going to LA anyway, so, fuck it. But looking at this lineup, if I were Aster, I would feel fairly confident coming into this minor. Maybe you don't walk into it saying easy peasy, we're going to win this thing, but I mean, calling a top 3 finish for Aster is not crazy by any stretch.
No, and in fact, part of this drama was that Lana was apparently quite upset with an interview that Mag gave, the coach of Na'Vi, as he was asked what he thought about the teams that were over at that minor, because of course Na'Vi are at the major themselves, and Mag said that his favorites to win it were Alliance or Gambit, and apparently he said, I can't see Aster going on a similar run as RNG did, and apparently that really made them mad.
Really?
Yeah, Latam had quite a bit to say. Oh, you just got that voice game thing again. Why?
I don't know. Oh God, I'm doing it right now.
Yeah, it did it. No. We're supposed to be the technically proficient podcast, Iori.
Well, I didn't even open TeamSpeak. I'm gonna plug in headphones and see if that changes anything. I don't know that it will, but give me just a sec here.
This guy. I tell you.
All right, there we go. Yeah, I'm still having this phantom issue where something on my computer is changing my microphone volume, and I don't know what it is. Last week we were good, we were chilling, and it's back again. So I'll continue to monitor. I think we can make it through another episode, but I'm gonna have to call in the big guns after this and figure out what the fuck's going on here. Sorry about that, folks.
You better be.
So,
but yeah, they dropped one game, the entire minor. Aster absolutely dominated. The one game they did drop, I would say it was going to be a pretty hard game to win. I wasn't super on board with the Animage pick. I think they were kind of trying to style a little bit. I don't know, but they almost looked like they were toying with the lines at some points. Like the fight that lost them game 3 was such a terrible fight. It was like they abyssal hexed and cast some other big spell on a Ghost Scepter Jakiro, while the rest of the team they knew was behind the Jakiro in fog. It made no sense. So either way, Aster, I think, with a couple less mistakes, would have dominated even harder.
Yeah, and that one loss, that was the finals, right? That was the only loss they had in the entire tournament. Grand finals, that was game 2. Yeah, that was a weird one. You were kind of right, and especially after the game 2 of that series was the slaughter. That was when they picked the Arc Warden, 23 minutes. I don't know, dog. I think going into game 3, I would have maybe been tempted to pick up some style points as well.
I thought game 2 actually looked really good for Alliance. I really liked their draft. And then it was the classic, though, where I look at it and I go, okay, this makes way more sense. I see you're solving all the problems you had last game. Because game 1, they didn't really have any way to start a team fight. Because their lineup was Templar Assassin. The tri-core was Templar Assassin, Omni Knight, and Ricky. And so it's how the only thing you can do is snowball off the TA, and that's kind of it. And this Ricky's trying to be a hard carry, and he's across the map. And Aster just had these Observer Sentry War combos, and they also just had sentries randomly through the creep lanes. And they always saw when Nico Baby was trying to split push and be sneaky, and they would instantly start a team fight in the mid lane because they could jump whenever. They had Snapfire, Nyx Assassin, Puck, even Morphling. They had great ways to just pick a team fight whenever the hell they wanted. So they just abused whenever they knew Nico Baby couldn't get there in time for the team fight. And he'd always just show up way too late. And this whole idea of trying to use the repel the Heavenly Grace to dispel the coil snap was not enough to make that game playable.
No, not quite.
Yeah, but then game 2, they got way more initiation, right? They got this Mars, they got the Disruptor, they had the DK, and I was oh, okay, I see it. They can start fights now. And they just got rolled so unbelievably hard in the lanes. Freaking poor Limp, dude. The first 3 or 4 runes all went to the Storm Spirit. And the first rune was an Arcane, and then he got 2 DDs out of the next 3 runes too. And both times he got a double kill on the Medusa and the DK on a DD at 7 minutes. Jesus. It was brutal. I was all right, this game's over.
So okay, let's kind of go step by step though. I want to escalate to get to the finals. Mm-hmm. Let's talk group stage before we even talk results. GSL groups.
Again,
I'm over it. I feel like I'm done with it. So I PM'd one of my buddies on Business Associates, and I said, bud, we keep seeing the GSL group stage, and I'm really curious, what is the player perspective on this format? Do you guys like it? Do you hate it? And if you hate it, what's the next best alternative? And as far as I can tell, it's basically just round robin, right? Isn't that what we've got? It's GSL round robin or Swiss in theory, but we don't really see Swiss anymore. And Knoxville keeps complaining that nobody does Swiss right, and I don't even know if that counts.
Swiss takes he claims it doesn't take more time, but
so
yeah. Well, anyway,
the benefit of GSL is that it's best of threes, and apparently the consensus just among organizers and whatnot is that it's really hard to do a round robin that's also all best of three. You know, if you took the same format, it adds too much variability, I guess, to the schedule to be easy. But is it, if these are all best of threes, is it that much additional variance? Like, I was trying to reason out why round robin best of three doesn't work, but GSL best of three does with 4 teams. What's wrong with best of three round robin? I'm okay with that.
I don't know. Is it way more games? Isn't that the issue?
I don't think so. I'd have to look at it because
you have to play everyone, right?
Yeah, but is it 6 matches instead of 5? Like, with 4 teams, it's still not that many.
Oh, I guess. And then you're saying, like, yeah, assuming there's no tiebreakers or whatever. But there would probably be tiebreakers a lot.
So
right?
Tiebreakers are the big issue. Okay, that's what it is. So it's not the actual matches being best of 3, because GSL is best of 3 also. That variance is okay. It's if you get into a nasty tiebreak scenario, and worst case, if like it's a 3-way tie, and what happened in South America basically, and then it goes to another 3-way tie, you are fucked, and GSL prevents that from happening. However, the dark side of GSL is that it's basically just a double elim bracket, so you lose 2 series and you're fucking done. So in the case of business associates, you play 4s in your opening series, you go 3 games. Game 3 is pretty intense, 50 minutes, back and forth, 4s wins. Ah, shit, okay, now we're 1 loss away from elimination. They play against Boom ID, basically the exact same thing. Back and forth, game 1 and 2, you go to a game 3 decider, 45 minutes, Boom ID wins it with an anti-mage. Bye-bye, business associates. Nice attire, but we'll see you next time. That just feels kind of shitty. I mean, this is better than them losing to 4s twice in a row or some shit, but...
It is the only way to do a tournament that fast, though.
Yeah.
I mean, damn, do they ever bang out these tournaments? I, loaded up the Dota buff page earlier, and I was like, wow, that's it. Like, there's, 16 best of 3s for an entire tournament. That's insane.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Just win, lol.
Well, yeah, I mean... The problem with that counter argument is that you can use it for literally any tournament bracket, format, whatever. Yeah, if you just win, then you're going to win, so it doesn't matter. It's true. But
boom.
Just looking at, trying to reduce variance in the results, optimal competitive kind of formats within the time constraints and the budgets and all that kind of stuff. I wish I had a better solution, but it would be nice to see... maybe just some round-robin group stages for a change. I feel like the GSL is just a little bit overdone.
It's definitely overdone. There's no doubt. But that's also because it's been determined by Valve to be the format for the minors for the year. So,
fair.
You're just going to see it a bunch.
I guess that's true. Which is better. I mean, we can't have... what is it? You can't have your cake and eat it too, because last year with Dota Pit, that was the one that had that issue with the format that was really... what's the way to say it? I think they had a best of 1 game 3 decider for it was like mega DPC points. Remember the LAN? They had like the break point between 3rd and 4th was a best of 1 in the lower bracket, and that was the difference of like 100 DPC. That was one of the things people were particularly mad about with that tournament, and I think their qualifiers were similar, where like a couple of them it was like 5 series or something for the entire qualifier. It might have just been a single elim bracket or whatever. So as much as I'm complaining about the same old, standardization is good, because if you leave it up to the organizers, they're not really incentivized to choose formats that are maybe the most competitive. They're incentivized to choose formats that either generate the most viewers or are just the cheapest or easiest to execute.
And it's also a minor. People don't want that much minor airtime. They don't want that many minor games. Minors are not that exciting.
You're really not wrong. I did not care about this group stage, which is sad because half the teams get eliminated in the groups, and I still didn't really care.
Yeah. I watched the crazy games that I could because there's a lot of North American players on there, some good Canadian boys. I like seeing them do well, but they started losing, and you're just like, all right, well, this isn't that interesting. It's like-
Yeah.
and then once they're knocked out, I was a lot less invested in the playoff stage. I do my duty for the job and whatnot. Went back and watched a bunch of replays, but I wasn't hanging on bated breath. It's not like it's not that major prestige. But it's good. We need these minors. We need a way for these teams to battle it out, get more lane experience, win some cash, make someone else go to the major, creates more slots from the regions. Well, one slot from the region, essentially.
Right.
But it is a necessary evil. I think the GSL does get the job done. And I'm just happy that now, it's like a moose bouche before the major.
Yeah, you're not wrong. That is really what the minor is intended to be. And before we dive really into the results and individual team performance, viewership. What was your take on? I feel like in my head I'm coming up with this new formula that I don't have a name for yet. This like production quality relative to viewers, relative to the quality of teams. Right, because it has to be normalized for all of those. Because We Play has the production quality that brings an audience, but that's not the only reason their minors had the most viewers. It's also the Nigma factor, right? So not having Nigma in this minor definitely hurts your viewership. Not having OG or someone else like that obviously hurts your viewership. And then there's the Starladder production value, which we can probably go ahead and break down right now. How did this fare for you? Did you feel like these were pretty good viewer numbers given all those other factors?
Did they make any content? If they made any, I didn't see it. I'll just say I did not watch much of the tournament outside of replays. My initial guess is that they didn't make any content.
Not that I saw.
We Play is like super high cost, super high production value, super high level of talent, and it's basically super high everything. We Play like 5 stars, and when we play 5 stars everything, then you get like 6 Reddit threads all saying, thank you so much, We Play. We love you so much, We Play. We Play, We Play, We Play, We Play. And that's great. They're being rewarded by the community for putting in a lot of money, a lot of effort, and a lot of like stakeholder participation by like reading Reddit threads and understanding what the people want and trying to cater the tournament towards that. But the Starladder is like, it's not necessarily a terrible thing or a bad thing. It's just completely different. Starladder is, we have this arena. This is where our tournament will be. We have a certain budget that we are going to use in this 3-day tournament, and we're trying to get some green, dude. We're not trying to burn a lot of money at Starladder. You know what I mean? They're not like looking for some big investor or something to scoop them up or to like move to some other game. They're just kind of doing their thing. And it's like threes across the board. It's like they got that same 3-man panel shot in the black room, the same stage. Like, I know exactly what I'm getting when I see CIS or Starladder, and that's fine.
It's true. They've sort of become old reliable in the Dota tournament space. Like, they were doing these giant online events before a lot of other people were. They were ahead of the curve. Then they kind of fell behind the curve. And then they went all in with cosmetics. And that didn't work out so well. And then a bunch of stuff happened in Ukraine. And their currency lost a lot of its value, which was really rough for that company. Starladder, somebody should write a book about Starladder at some point. Because honestly, they have a pretty crazy history. They survived one of the most difficult political and financial climates when Ukraine was being invaded and there was like wartime and shit. There were some real panic moments when Starladder was operating in like global currency, USD and stuff. Yeah. And it's really impressive that they've been able to maintain, right? They still have a presence in other games. I have a lot of respect for the brand, but at the same time, I'm about to say a bunch of really negative stuff because watching We Play was like a totally different experience. I remember parts of that event. It stood out just as a spectacle, as real entertainment, and Starladder felt very much like this game panel, game panel, game panel, game panel, done. And it's like you got a formula, you know what works, it works really well, and it's just a rinse and repeat kind of thing. And it's not bad, but I find myself struggling to care. It doesn't give me
that, like remember we talked about We Play and you talked about, like, I didn't want to leave the stream.
Yes.
Because you didn't know what was coming.
Yes.
That was, like, a very legitimate thing. Starladder's, like, literally the exact opposite. The second the game ends, I was, like, going to go do something else. Because I knew they were about to throw it back to the panel to talk about some stuff, to then do this thing. And then I was like, all right, I got about 12 minutes and 45 seconds, and I'll be right back. And I had, 2 bands into the draft, and I go do my stuff. I come back, and oh, here we go. I'm back in the next game.
Yep.
That's not necessarily what you want from a broadcaster perspective.
But to go back to your original point, does it fucking matter? Are they trying to sell to an investor? Are they is the brand going anywhere? Is Starladder not going to be bidding on leagues in the next season? No.
How much did they pay? Do you think it could be like half compared to like if we played to the same tournament?
That's an interesting
Maybe
question.
Like at least 60%. I would not be surprised if it was something like that.
Probably, because it's less talent. It's the stage is smaller. It's kind of less
own everything.
Yeah. And I assume, was this Starladder at where most of the other Starladders? This was at Cybersport Arena. Yeah. So
yeah, like their little office thing.
Yeah.
Their typical place.
So yeah, it's just totally different, right? Starladder's been operating for like well over a decade now, so they have all this infrastructure, and the equation totally changes when you just sort of have all this stuff already, and you're like, well, we already bought the gear, so every additional event we do is just more return on that investment that we've already made, that sunk cost, so to speak.
I will touch on something. So one thing is because people weren't shouting out Starladder, they were shouting out the talent. That is something that happens a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because when the studio's not getting all of the attention, then it kind of moves on to the next people at the front. And
Shiva.
Shiver and Nahaz and Toby got a lot of love threads. People were very happy to have Toby back doing some grand final stuff because obviously he hasn't got to do that many. He's done a few very recently, but aside from very recently, he hasn't been doing a lot of grand finals, so people were hyped up about that. Winter came back. Saw some of you guys mentioning. Big fan of Winter, of course. Very happy to have him. I laughed every time he was mentioning LD. He just kept being like, LD has abandoned me. Why isn't LD here? Mr. Gorman. That was pretty good. But the because like you have to carry so hard when you're talent at these events.
Mm-hmm.
Like when there's no content, it's just you, and it can be hard. Like some of those panels, man. Oof, I love you guys, but holy moly, I had to turn off some of the panels. I legitimately couldn't listen to 3 people talk over each other over and over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, I think it's a number of factors.
Not a lot of flow.
Like I think number one, 3-person panels are by default way more difficult. A 4-person panel
100%.
or a 5-person panel, even if everybody is kind of aware of their respective roles, it gives you a lot of different perspectives so that there's always something happening in the conversation, right? There's always somebody who has, a valid angle or a different thought or something unique to bring to the table. When it's basically 2 plus a host, you almost feel like the host role doesn't do as much because there's less people to manage. So that host needs to kind of double as either a color commentator or an analyst or a funny guy or a funny lady in the case of Shiver. It's just hard.
Like Shiver and Nahaz can do that. They're very good at 3-man panels for what it's worth. Like in terms of hosting, like you can do it too because you guys know enough about Dota to discuss it. Someone like
and knowing players, like speaking anecdotally about like, that time I was hanging out with Kyle, or the first time I met Lizard, I've got a funny story about Winter. Those things add up a lot, and that's what's so hard for these non-Dota hosts that come in. That might be really good presenters, but they don't have that same connection to the community and the people that are a part of it.
Yeah, exactly. They don't have a lot of like backlog to discuss. I think what made it so difficult for a lot of the panelists though was that when you have no content, when you are the show, like the whole time, they were not given any other avenues to discuss other than like, okay, we need something to talk about for the next 15 minutes. Like those panels at Starladder are so brutal sometimes because like the game ends and you have to talk for like 8 more minutes. And sometimes that's like as long as half the game because the game was such a stomp because you're in a minor. And the casters are already talking about a bunch of stuff. So you're like, okay, well, that's gone. What am I going to talk about? So you think about something to talk about. And the 2 other guys on the panel for the past 5 minutes of the game were doing the exact same thing. And they were thinking, what am I going to talk about? And then suddenly these games are ending. And I'm listening to 3 panelists all coming with this like same point. And I swear to God, no one is listening to each other. It was like they just had their own point and it was like head nodding and just fake listening and then talking about their point. And I was just like, all right, guys, I can't do this.
I mean,
I feel like it just got so monotonous because they had nothing to break it up.
That happens when you get stuck in your own head. Like that used to happen to me when I was much newer to hosting, where I would think about the next thing I'm going to say, or if I didn't have another follow-up question, I'd start panicking about like, okay, when they're done talking, what am I going to say? And then I realize I haven't been listening for the last 15 seconds. So they finish their point, and then I look at them like, oh, okay, cool. Well, thanks for that. So, guys, anyone else got, like you get stuck in your head, and when every panelist is doing it, it creates exactly what you just described. 3 people all talking at each other, not really having
and again,
a conversation.
I really don't think this is a personal talent problem. Like, I'm not even saying that I would have been any different if I were there. So I'm not throwing shade at anyone. The problem is that literally the whole show was just panels, and that's what gets in their heads.
Yeah. And it, like you said, it is really hard when minor games, sometimes there isn't a lot to analyze. Like we had this issue with Dota Pit, and you feel awkward as talent because you kind of know that the audience can tell too. Like it was a 21-minute game. They just won all the lanes and fucking pushed, and that was it. Like there wasn't some awesome strategy here. There wasn't some crazy curveball. It just ended. They got slaughtered. They fucked up in the draft. Cool. But you feel weird going to the producer and being like, hey, could we just not do this fill panel because there's nothing to talk about? That's sort of like you saying, hey, I don't really feel like doing my job right now. You guys want to pay me and then just put up a weight screen instead? Like it's really awkward to kind of say that, but sometimes it feels like the right play compared to just endlessly hyper-analyzing replays of like, and here they killed them again.
They were better about that this time. There were more breaks than I remember the minor I worked specifically had like almost no breaks. It was unbelievable. When at the Starladder thing, like I didn't mind. It's fine. Like I'm not complaining about the work. I just felt like it was like probably a lot for the viewers. Yeah. And they did do more breaks this time, so I will give them credit there. Mm-hmm. But again, when a break of a music screen is the only thing that is segmenting things, it gets a little tiresome.
I also find it
for everyone.
I find it harder to fill when it's a DPC event, when you know it's official, and like if it's a MOONDUCK stream, so to speak, and we have an hour and we can talk about literally anything.
Tell me about Chick-fil-A.
It's easy because you can actually just podcast and shoot the shit. But when you're on a DPC event, even when there is nothing specific to talk about, I always have this sense of we shouldn't fuck around too much. I shouldn't tell like really gross, funny stories that are, like there's a time and a place, and it still feels like DPC is Dota first, and we don't want to take away from the highlights of the players. And it's harder to fill because you feel like half of your fill points are off limits in that scenario.
That's interesting because that directly compares to how we were discussing like how We Play would do a major, because We Play were so good about like exterior content and memes and all this stuff, and like how would that fit in with a major? Minors are like this like shitty bastard child that you can't be too serious because the teams are so bad, but you can't be too goofy because it's a DPC event. Yeah. So it's just like this really awkward navigation of just like, what are we doing? Like if you don't get a Team Nigma, or I mean they're probably the best team that's been at a minor this year. Even someone like Chaos or something, I guess, that is just like a little bit more exciting to discuss. They had Alliance this time, which is really good for the EU viewership. So that certainly helped. And Aster, of course, is a very good team. They just don't get a lot of like hype surrounding them. Yeah. It's really hard to do minors.
It is. It's fun because it feels like it's low pressure, but you definitely have these moments where you're looking at these teams and you kind of know, like, all right, we saw the groups. I know that Aster is just outclassing most of these teams, and you have to go into every series kind of like, okay, guys, it's Aster versus Gambit. What is Gambit? You know that Aster is just a better team. I feel like every minor has kind of had that two teams that really stand apart from the pack. The top 2 or 3 look on a different level compared to the bottom 4 teams at the minors pretty consistently.
I mean, that's kind of like majors too in a lot of ways.
Yeah, well, yeah. I guess I would think that's expected because majors are already top heavy with the best of the best, and the skill cap like makes jumps at that really high level. I kind of thought
picturing
minors
I feel like
would
the bottom 4 at a major are like so bad usually in comparison.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is weird how Dota has those kind of break points. So I do want to dive into some of the more specific matches and kind of go through the bracket, but I saw kind of a cool question here in Twitch chat as we went down that rabbit hole. Bias towards NA Dota. It's the observation that there don't really seem to be many NA Dota fans or players anymore, but there are still a lot of NA talent, right?
Yep.
that is kind of a cool / weird dynamic that I guess I hadn't really thought about. Like, we naturally have this bias towards North America, a lot of us at least, but
Of course.
objectively,
I see that
the
all
region's
the
in
time.
trouble.
Like, people meme about that on Reddit all the time because all the panelists are NA. And
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair. Like, legitimately, I wanted to check out some of the crazy games because they've got 3 Canadians on. I think it's cool that, I liked it better when they had almost the full 5-man Canadian squad, and then Snake King, of course, American, but then he ditched, and then EE ditched.
Mm-hmm.
Now I got 3 Canadians. I'll take it. That's still pretty cool.
Yep.
So I want to see how they did. They obviously didn't do very well, and that's fine. But like something like Aster, like there are some talent that obviously really like China, like especially like B-Cop. Like he's kind of trying to make a name for himself by doing so much work with the China region, and that has actually worked for him. And that shows just like how open that whole region is. Moxie literally did the exact same thing with SA, and it got her so much fandom by simply being a fan of those regions. It's not like she like flew there, she didn't learn the language. She just was like, I want to talk up some SA Dota guys. Is that cool? And then everyone's like, that would be really awesome. Yeah, thank you.
Right. She just took an active interest. I mean, that's really what it boils down to, right? She just stepped up and gave a shit about a part of the scene that not enough people were giving a shit about. So, yeah, I think you're absolutely right. But I was just looking at Crazy. I wasn't familiar with this organization. Now, this is Crazy with a number 4. This is like Leet Speak Crazy for all y'all out there trying to figure out what we're talking about. And this was Team Fighting Pandas. Eternal Envy left the Fighting Pandas, and then Fighting Pandas became Team Crazy. And Team Crazy apparently used to be known as Valiance and Company. And they are a Croatian esports org, according to Wikipedia. However, looking at their Twitter, it says they're based in Berlin, Germany. So either way, it's another European org. Looks like they've got a CSGO team, and now this Dota 2 squad. So I don't know much about this org. I have to confess, my friend.
All I remember hearing is that there's they had some drama about not paying players or something.
Oh, good. Oh, sounds
that's,
like
that's par for the course for AUI.
Sounds like they'll fit right in North America. Perfect.
Yeah, it should be good.
But hopefully it works out well for those players. I hope that they don't get screwed over by some kind of trickery here. It makes you wonder, is there some conspiracy afoot? Is that why Eternal Envy got the fuck out of there? He was just like, no way, dude. I'm not joining Crazy. That would be fucking crazy.
No, I'm sure C9 just contacted him and was like, yo, Envy, you want to make us a squad? Because our C team bombed, and there's this whole league thing coming up, and I want to have a Dota team. All I need is the top 16 Dota team in North America to guarantee, you just need top 8, and you're guaranteed matches against EG and Chaos and all the other teams in North America.
That is actually so funny to try, like, to be a fly on the wall and picture that sales pitch. Just like, all right, Envy, listen, we know you're a little bit of a wild card. We just need a top 16. Can you make it to TI? You can see that look on Envy's face. The fucking anime hero starts growing. He just puts on his cape. I can do it. I can fuck Snake King. Let's go. Jinjung gets the fuck out of there, and then they join Ace, Misery, and Pylai Die and start a new team.
I'm looking forward to watching them. That's tomorrow, dude. That is not far away.
You're right. Well, holy shit. Does the summit tomorrow?
The summit starts tomorrow.
Holy shit. Okay. Well, all right, let's wrap up this bracket, and then let's talk about the summit a little bit. I knew it was coming up soon, but damn, that got away from me.
Middle of the week, dude. Summit in there.
Shout
out to Pop-Tart in the chat.
Pop-Tart. What? So anyway, kind of quickly to go over the Starladder kind of groups and bracket. 2 groups, A and B, Aster and Boom were the top 2 out of Group A. That means Fours and Business Associates were eliminated. Now, of course, Business Associates, that is J-Storm, or formerly J-Storm. So they're now a nameless org. They're kind of embracing that brand, which was nice to see. But it's the exact same players, which is another depressing aspect of North America. That's just another org down, just like, yeah, we're out. Good luck,
Well,
fellas.
they're still 8th in DPC.
Yep. And Group B, Gambit and Alliance, the top 2 there. And then Crazy, the ex-Fighting Panda squad we were just talking about. And No Ping Esports, that is the Brazilian squad with Costa Bile, ADR, Tavo, those guys. crazy, and no ping, both eliminated. So another classic minor for Gambit. I'm a fucking broken record, dude. This is
Dude, I was thinking the same thing when I looked at this bracket. I couldn't wait to look at this with you because we happen in tournaments and we see this exact bracket for Gambit.
It's unbelievable. Like, they had an okay run in the groups. They 2-0 crazy. They 2-0 Alliance, undefeated, top of the bracket. Beautiful. Then they 2-1 Boom. And then they get 2-0'd by Aster in the upper bracket finals. I think I watched that series, and it was pretty one-sided. Like, they were not short games, but the kind of just, yeah, Aster's a better team. Oh, that was when they played that Game 2 Alchemist, SCCC Alchemist, dude.
Yes.
He popped off
10-minute radiance
hard.
or something?
Yeah, dude, that game was fucking sick. I was actually playing with one of my friends, and she was saying, Alchemist is pretty good right now. That hero's not a joke. And then they picked it. And I was kind of laughing like, wow, I can't believe they picked Alchemist. And then he just dumpstered. So classic Gambit. They look good until they get figured out. And then they get knocked down to the lower bracket. And Alliance, who they 2-0'd in the group stage.
It's so classic.
Alliance just 2-0's them. A 66-minute game and a 37-minute game. And, Alliance played DK in both of those. I don't even know what to say about it. I don't know. What is Gambit's problem? How do you identify this? How do you fix it? They're like this team. They always come out swinging in the groups, and then they always lose, not in the first round of the playoffs, but in the second round.
Hey, whoa. They did lose in the first round at Bukavel, where they got 2-0'd by GeekFam and then 2-1 by Nigma, and were out.
Okay. Usually they make it at least one more round before they hit this cliff, but this always happens.
Singapore, right? Winter final versus EG 2-0'd, lower bracket, VG 2-0'd, gone. After 2-0ing Alliance.
So I wonder how it feels to be in that scenario. Like, how long do you keep trying this roster and these, like, twofold? I'm sure the players aren't satisfied. Every player wants to win, of course, but I wonder what the team morale is like. You know, do you think comms are positive? Do you think the team feels pretty good overall?
Well, they're all stuck in that whole GPK situation still, right?
Yes, although he was playing.
Yes, he's back, but I mean, that's still got to be a little, I can't imagine they were at full strength for this. And they're still winning pretty decent prize money, considering the region they're living in.
Yeah, I mean, the org lifetime has almost 700K earnings in Dota 2, so they win enough, I suppose. And I wonder if the org is happy. I wonder, it says there are a lot of different strategies for esports teams, and some of them want to be that pristine, we're going to slow roll it, and we only want teams that are like tier 1. We want to establish ourselves as a tier 1 org. We're going to start at this level. And there's a lot of other team orgs that either don't have the investment capital or don't have the resources, and their plan is to build it up. They're like, we're going to go as big as we can, but we're going to start with some tier 2 teams. We're going to support them, and we're going to move into the tier 1. We're not just going to start there, kind of like Secret or OG or something. And Gambit is very much one of those ladder orgs where they're like a tier 1.5 kind of moving up. They've been around for a while. They put up some results. I wonder how management feels about this. I wonder if they look at this team and go, potential, this is a decent investment. We're not doing great, but you guys are worth having on the payroll. Or if they look at this and go, fuck, again. How do we help you? What does a coach do for this? I'm just very curious because it's just so rare that you see a team fall into such a specific pattern for such a long period of time like this. This doesn't feel like a fluke anymore.
Well, TI is still the goal for the year, but as an organization, everyone's just thinking about next year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's what you should be doing. You should be thinking, what region am I playing in? What is my team's power ranking? Is my team going to be playing in the upper league next year? And can they secure spots at majors? And if they can't, well, there's still a lot of airtime the whole year when there's not majors. There's not going to be any other tournaments on anyway. And half the value of the league is in the league and not the major itself. So that's all you should be thinking of.
Yeah, that's true.
And in that case, they're pretty well suited, right?
Yeah.
Yo, who's going to be the second best region after China? Because I don't actually think there's an argument. I feel like China's probably the best region. I don't think Europe carries far deep enough. I think China's one, and then is it CIS or is it Europe? Because like
You mean
Europe is so deep, but a lot of these CIS teams are like pretty good. Like they're just so even. Like I think if you did like a crew battle of CIS versus Europe, Europe would obviously win. But there's like this blob of CIS teams that I have no idea who's going to show up in the majors and minors when it comes to this region.
I do get what you're saying. Like CIS has always had this sort of almost, it's like the next evolution of NA Dota, where you have this group of players that all play the in-houses. If you really pay attention to that scene, you know who they are, you know the pub stars, but we don't get as much of that. And it seems like these rosters come out of nowhere pretty frequently where you go, oh, yeah, I've kind of seen those names. Holy shit, they're just winning right now. How are they beating all these top-tier CIS teams? It happened. These regional matchups are weird, man. It's like everybody knows each other too well because they see each other in pubs. They have a lot of crossover in team history, and they have a similar culture, similar region of the world. They have each other's number so much more than these crazy international matchups where they're just analyzing each other's drafts rather than all of that history.
Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be so cool though. Like I feel like CIS is gonna be such a value league to watch.
Sure, hell yeah.
It's gonna be really good games of Dota.
Starladder's gonna bid on it, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. I'm sure we play. We'll get it though.
Also, as a quick aside, this is like a challenge to anybody listening, anyone out there. I have talked to a number of folks about the upcoming leagues, upper and lower, all that stuff. I still have not come across a single party that is planning on bidding on South America. I know that there are some people going to bid on North America. A lot of people are going to bid on Europe, CIS. There's a lot of orgs out there. A lot of them have confirmed, yes, we're targeting this region for certain dates. I still don't have a verifiable data point that there is a proposal in the hands of Valve from someone that wants to pay $140,000 plus production costs to run uppers and lowers for South America. If someone has, or if anyone listening knows someone that has, please just shoot me a DM so I can verify that this is happening. I'm very curious. Will anyone bid on South America?
Moonduck getting it for free?
I don't want to be overly cynical here, but it's an interesting kind of data point where I thought North America was maybe a little testy there, but no, I'm positive there are some proposals from North America being worked on right now.
Of course, yeah.
So South America remains my big question mark, bud.
All right. Well, are you gonna send in the free proposal?
Hey Valve, if nobody bids on this, I'd be happy to do it if you just waive that $140,000.
Send them that.
Jesus Christ!
If there's no proposal, the logic of Valve means they'll just give it to us. They won't set a new deadline. They won't change the pricing. They'll just be like, those bastards, they did it. And they'll just give it to us.
So I see some folks mentioning like ESL. I need to follow up with ESL. Last I heard, they did not have plans for South America. However, I don't know, right? A lot of things are moving. A lot of things are changing right now. I guess for whoever's saying that in Twitch chat, I would challenge you. Why would ESL want South America when they could focus on every other region? Like what? If you don't have to take it, why wouldn't you just take the other regions where you can sell sponsors and monetize it? What?
I thought the idea of them taking SA kind of makes sense for ESL because I do think they like that idea of like growing their region in like India and like these smaller market things, right? And they want that stranglehold. I like get that.
Okay.
I think it would probably be more valuable to. Oh, you know what? What if they got Facebook money? Because everyone watches it on Facebook.
Oh shit.
That'd be pretty hype.
Trent, you might have just cracked this one wide open. Maybe Facebook will pay for
call
South
Facebook.
America.
Can we do South America?
Fucking Zuckerberg, dude. Holy shit. I think you're right. I didn't even think about it because we are Team Twitch through and through. Make that disclosure clear.
Yes.
But I mean, if there is an organization out there dumb enough to pay that kind of honestly, Facebook has so much legitimacy in that region that it might not even be a waste. Like that's
I think it's legitimately a good business proposal for them.
Holy shit. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Facebook.
All right. Well, whoever's listening, fellow tournament organizers that watch Shared Tangos, you're welcome for giving you this beautiful idea.
Okay, maybe South America will be saved after all. You're right about ESL, though, and their development leagues, but I would also challenge that with, I feel like their business model is so much more focused on stadiums and in-person, like India, for example, that's a development region, but it's all about selling tickets. There's a huge population there, huge esports fandom. If you can sell out an arena in India, you're golden Richards.
I mean,
This
haven't they
is
done CS events in like Brazil and stuff though?
probably online though. That's what I'm saying. It's like I don't think online leagues are that appealing to ESL. I think ESL cares about physical events more than anything.
Yeah, but they've done physical events for CS there. So I'm saying like, you make yourself the ESL league, like pro league,
Are you
Dota,
saying
whatever.
Peru major? Is that what we're getting at here? Brazil major?
Well, they just have their own event there. Just do their thing.
Okay. Just do an ESL like something. Yeah, we're doing this.
I don't know. People like positive association. People would positively associate them with doing the Dota League for South America. And then when ESL announced they're going to do a Dota major, then they get all psyched up. People come.
ESL Rio 2020. It's a thing. Okay.
Oh, for CS apparently?
Yeah,
oh, there you go.
There you go. All right. Yeah, so maybe you're right. It's just interesting. Like I said, I will start sleeping better about the future of Dota once I know for sure South America is safe.
Right, well, if no one bids, I'll call Marky Mark. I'll set up a meeting. It'll be me, Marky Mark, and whoever's top of Twitch right now. Maybe just Conrad. Call Conrad, our Twitch rep.
I would be
all right, boys. We got a little standoff here. Who's doing it? All right. So, yes, we were going to move on. Congratulations, Aster.
Yeah.
Good luck in trying to make it to the major. As we discussed at the start of the podcast, apparently, according to a post accordingly translated from Fade, they are missing visas for Bobica, SCCC, and positions 1, 2, and 4, and Chuan. So hopefully that gets sorted. They're trying to get them done at the Chinese embassy in Ukraine, but I don't know what's going to happen there.
Yeah.
And I don't know what. So let's theorize here. Let's say they can't go. What do you do?
I asked myself this question when I was taking a shower today, and believe it or not, I didn't come up with a good answer because this is
I don't know either.
This is really tough because obviously the major DPC points all the way down. So just by being at the major, you get guaranteed 100 DPC points, 4,800 if you win the whole thing. So just replacing Aster with another team is kind of like, all right, well, that other team just got kind of a layup for something that was totally out of their control.
The only fair thing has to be Alliance, right?
Yes, that was my next thought is, okay, so you just go number 2 at the minor, but my question after that is this practical? Because they need to make a decision about this like ASAP. If they're still pending on visas for Aster, you're not going to book flights for Alliance if there's a chance Aster can still get visas and make it. So is Alliance just on call? This also assumes that Alliance has no other plans and all the players are available.
And have their own visas.
Have visas, won't be quarantined or haven't been anywhere that's touched. Like, there's a lot of factors here, right? And I'm just saying time is not on our side. When does the major actually start? The official date is the 15th. I
want to say 15th.
So we are 6 days away. Less than a week. Dog. Clock's ticking.
Yep. Good luck.
So this is one of those, like, I don't think we get much benefit from waiting, and I think you need to make an executive call. Like, I would wonder what the story is behind Aster not applying for visas in advance. If there was some parameter that prevented them from doing that, okay, fine, that's not on them. But if they could have applied and just didn't because they weren't sure if they'd qualify and didn't think it was worth it, I'd be tempted a little bit to say, well, sorry, bud, you missed it, and now we're going on to number 2. How about stand-ins? Because you did say that 2 players are approved.
Yeah.
Is there a world...
Lanham's their stand-in coach, and I assume he still has his visa, so he could play.
So is there a world where you just fill with 2 stand-ins, and you make some exception about, it was...
All right, let's theorize Team Aster at the major, right? Let's go to the major page here. And what are the other Chinese teams here, and who are their coaches? So let's see. Can we get Zhao 8? And, oh, man, Zhao 8. I mean, that's just perfect. Lanham and Zhao 8. Yeah, let's go. Standing in. Now, RNG don't have a coach, unfortunately.
I mean, I was kind of thinking...
have Little Super. Oh, we'd have Little Super, Lanham, and Zhao 8.
Okay.
Standing in with Fade and XXS. That's a team.
I was thinking, are there any... North American players that are like high ranked pub stars that are also bilingual in Chinese that
The
could
Void
stand
Boys.
in. Yeah,
Patzel.
right.
Return of Patzel.
Like somebody like that. That's where my head was going in terms of stand-ins, which I mean, I don't even know if Aster would want to do that, let alone if that would be workable, but I don't know, dude. This is a really tough one. And in terms of coronavirus, are all of the other like Southeast Asian Chinese teams everywhere? Like luckily we don't have any Italian Dota players, I guess, but like Royal Never Give Up, eHome, Fnatic, Geek Fam, Adroit, are they all clear as far as we know? Nobody's stuck in quarantine or anything like that?
I saw a random comment that claimed, let me see if I can find it. RNG, eHome, and Aster are still outside the US. So obviously we know that's true about Aster. I don't actually have confirmation on RNG and eHome. I've seen the IG players in NA pubs, but I also haven't looked at NA pubs for the past like 2 or 3 days over the weekend.
Yeah. Well, IG were the ones that we
Oh yes, that's right. They did announce that I think it's Boomy who can't make it, right? Adroit's their stand-in or their captain can't make it.
Oh, great. The captain no less. Ugh.
Yeah. Yes, that sucks. But that assumes that the other 4 can make it.
Is there a world where you just have 15 teams?
I don't know.
Because so I keep thinking like, all right, so let's say Aster only has 2 players. You can't make a stand-in situation work. Either you can't find players or they don't want to play with the players, whatever it is. Is just playing with 15 a better solution than forcing another team into this and giving them like it's sort of gifting somebody DPC points? And this is, or do you just keep going down the minor ladder where you go to Alliance and you say, okay, can you guys make it? And they go, no, sorry, we don't have whatever the reason is. And you go, okay, hey Gambit, you guys want to come to Los Angeles? I mean, again, how many hours in the day are there for you to be able to do this of just playing check and guess with teams?
Here's a thought. What I saw people saying playing remotely. Do you ever think that could happen? Like, what if they had the 2 that could be there playing? Would you rather just have your 3 guys play remote? They get some sort of paid Valve representative admin to be there, and they let them play from Europe because obviously they're there already for the minor.
I mean, in theory, yes, you could
They'd be
absolutely
playing from Europe with like 150 ping.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how practical it is, but like, yes, you could set it up so that you could put a paid admin there. You could make it legit so there's no cheating. Like the competitive integrity aspect is a big problem that I think is solvable. The bigger issue
I
is
think you can just pay someone at Starladder, and I think Valve have enough of a relationship that is doable. But the
what
rest
happens,
of it is the problem.
Yeah, when the team just fucking sucks and then they get dead last and then they go, yeah, well, we got dead last because we had to play remotely and that wasn't fair. It just and it also takes something away from the teams that beat them. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's an interesting thought, but I have noticed that Chinese teams especially seem to be a little more specific about the way their brand is presented. And I think it's a little bit more of an NA mentality of like, yeah, just go for it. Fuck it. If you have to play and you get last, who cares? You were still there. And I think Chinese orgs would not say, oh, who cares? They would go, well, we don't want to play if we're going to be handicapped and we just get like, we don't want to be made a fool of for reasons out of our control. We would rather not play than play with half of our team on 150 ping. So given that it's a Chinese org, I don't think that they would go for that. But what do I know? Where is Aster in terms of overall DPC placement? Because that also is a big factor here. Do they have?
They kept bottoming out. They are, let's see, because they made it to quite a few things. They're 10th because they got 150, 150, and then they won the minor for 140. Oh.
God, dude, that makes this even more difficult because they're in that group of people that this could be like a make it or break it. Participating in this major or not participating or getting dead last versus top 8 could be the difference of them qualifying for TI or not. Like they are 440 points. You are definitely in contention right now to be top 12, straight up. So that makes this even harder. Like if you replace Aster, do you give them some kind of a bonus DPC for like, or is this their fault? Like, I don't know where this lands on the factor of you guys didn't have visas. This is on you. We told you should have applied for visas. Sorry, kind of zero tolerance. Or if this is closer to, yeah, we're stuck in quarantine. This is out of our control. I don't control global pandemics. What do we do here? Because we have had situations like that, right? Was it the KL Major where 33 had a visa issue because of Israel and Malaysia don't get along well, and PPD petitioned Valve to remove their penalty from having a stand-in because it wasn't, hey, we chose to have a stand-in. It's like, this is government shit that's way out of our control.
Yeah.
Why am I being punished for something I can't control, sort of thing? So we do have precedent for this kind of stuff. Like,
that was a big win.
A big win.
Peter.
And then they still got to play on LAN with mind control, right? And
made it to TI.
Kind of get carried in the off.
That was the true sunspanning. If it wasn't for sunspanning happening, it would be like PPDing. That's
yeah.
Peter's welcome that Sunspan has taken that helm from him.
Yeah.
Because that was some real shit. That was a good one.
So I don't know, dude. This one is really, really complicated. And just the general threat of coronavirus adds even more clout to all of these things, you know?
Man, it's really, it ain't going away anytime soon. That's the crazy thing, is that everyone's worried about this major being canceled, but like, this is just the beginning.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in for serious economic impacts for like 12 months. I mean, of course, the repercussions we felt long after 12 months, but I mean like immediate, like,
yeah,
you know, real bad stuff.
Shit's
consequences
getting canceled.
of like, yeah, just can't happen.
Yeah, I was joking with my roommate yesterday that we're entering a time where travel insurance on flights is actually worth it now.
Yeah.
You know, like I always used to think that shit was a scam. We're like, what does this cover? What if I break my leg? Okay, what are the chances of that? Now it's a little bit like, yeah, you could book a flight that gets canceled or gets rerouted or whatever else. Like, this is a scary time to be traveling. Not from like an infection standpoint, just logistics of getting stuck places or, you know.
Yeah, it's not like we're going to die.
Yeah, I don't mean to spread panic that way. I just mean like the system in which the entire world is reacting to this is throwing a lot of wrenches into the mix. And that's,
you know, when I had my first child, Clifford, I missed a bunch of events for GESC who never ended up paying anyone. So Clifford saved me from not getting, you know, working for no money. And now I couldn't go to any events. Dude, I have never received so many invites for tournaments. I got a message 2 days before the minor started asking if I wanted to come. I've been invited to literally every event in the past like 3 months, and I can't go to any of them because of Grant. But at the very least, he's got me dodging coronavirus. So way to go, second baby. Great timing.
That is good. You've really sniped it with the timing of all this.
Really nailing it.
Yeah. And so what is the latest on the LA Major with the crowd? Is it still full steam ahead? You know, you mentioned it earlier, but as of right now, it is full steam ahead with the caveat that it could change in the next 6 days and crowd might be turned away. But they are still planning on having live audience.
Yes, the last update was attendee update number 2. And that was Thursday, March the 5th.
Okay.
It said they're monitoring daily stuff with officials in LA, Continued conversation between health authorities, the venue operator, and us. Current recommendation by the health department is that all major sports events remain open to the public unless there is a wider community outbreak.
Got it.
And so they've talked about how there's going to be additional safety and hygiene measures in place. And that being said, the scenario is dynamic. Might be changes, monitoring constantly. That will inform all ticket holders immediately if this becomes reality. Fans who are coming from further away are recommended to evaluate their travel plans. If you have further questions and concerns, please don't hesitate to reach out to our support team.
Now, side question. Have you encountered anyone in your day-to-day life that has refused to shake hands with you because of coronavirus?
I haven't really had to do much since. I'm hanging out with a baby. I'm around germs all day.
Fair.
So no, that has not happened.
I had to go to the bank or changing something on an account, and I put my hand out to shake, and he just went, "No, we don't do that anymore." And I went, okay.
Can I say what I'm annoyed about? They won't let you use reusable mugs at Starbucks was the first one, but now it's at Tim Hortons and some other one.
Why?
Nearby. Because the worker. I mean, yeah, I get it. You're minimum wage workers. Whatever, the workers are afraid they're going to catch something off mugs.
Okay,
yeah, that's pretty brutal.
I sort of get it, but it's just like you have to think it through where if someone's infected and they come into the Tim Hortons and like the cup would only be contaminated if the person handing it to you is contaminated. You know what I mean? So like, I'm not a public health expert, but that doesn't sound like a particularly effective measure to me. But what do I know? I guess people do touch it with their mouth, so it's kind of close. But it's just
kind of annoying, frankly. I mean, I
yeah.
take the lid off anyway. You never have to touch the lid.
That's true. I'm just saying, like, if you're in the Tim Hortons and you're contaminated and you're at the register talking to the contaminated person, you're still in trouble,
Taking
man.
my money.
The taking the mug is like pretty far down the list of like. I mean, it is true that retail workers are the ones that are probably going to be hit disproportionately hard by this kind of stuff because you have to interface with a lot of people. You know, you handle money. You're out there. You know, people like us have the benefit of sitting at home and doing this shit. So I don't.
Oh yeah, we got the self-quarantine every day.
Yeah, I had that thought of like, well, I got a lot of video games here. I don't know. I can stream all day. Like worst case scenario, it's I can handle this better than a lot of other people that will go stir crazy within 3 days of being self-quarantined. So.
I mean, they have someone at the grocery stores who stands there with the wipes and wipes down every cart as you're coming in. They say, "May I wipe your cart for you?" So there you go. That's a new practice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's a very serious issue, obviously. So I'm not trying to downplay it or anything. It's going to impact us all a lot.
Oh yeah, the impact is already palpable, and a couple of the folks that I PM'd about the league's next season were sort of like, dude, we're thinking about it, but right now we are all hands on deck trying to make changes to accommodate all the coronavirus stuff. So yeah, I'll hit you back in a couple weeks once some of this stuff dies down, because for live events, this is about as bad as it gets in terms of like things that can really fuck up your plans. A lot of people, close proximity. You always think of security and insurance and that kind of stuff when you're running these live events with hundreds of people or thousands of people. But this is like another level of pushing your event logistics to the brink of what they can handle. So it's no easy equation.
It's crazy because like we're just like such a tiny vacuum and like such a pretty worthless specter of the economy and society. No offense, esports. But like our shit's gonna get messed up. But then think about all the stuff that we need to work that are also just gonna be like so slowed down because of this. Like especially all the travel. Like oh my god, it's not looking too great for the esports world. Not or no better time to get the online leagues announced though. That's for sure.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Little playing from home action in like a worst case scenario 6 months from now. We'll be in a better spot theoretically to at least maintain some of the league presence. But all right, well, maybe last topic of discussion here. Let's move into the summit. Oh,
yes,
excuse
the
me.
Summit.
Summit 12. This starts tomorrow. Title sponsored by my buddies at LootBet. That was the first thing I noticed when I saw this. Old Gorman shot me a tweet. I couldn't help but put a little poke in there, and he poked right back. How much for a sniff piece? Title sponsored by LootBet. Thanks, LD. 150K prize pool, 6 teams in the Beyond the Summit studio in Los Angeles. 4-day event, I believe. And the real hallmark of this one, it ends on a Friday instead of a Sunday, which is cool, I think.
And the announcement was March 2nd. That was a week ago. This tournament was announced, which is pretty crazy. I heard that this was happening a little while back. Obviously, the teams do know more than a week before, guys.
Right.
And some of the talent had talking about how there was going to be a summit. Yeah, there was going to be a summit, and I was like, oh, that's cool. But yeah, that's a pretty cool event. You're just creating your own like boot camp essentially for teams. And I actually thought the real OG was going to be there too, but obviously they're not. Just to see, I guess probably some of the OG guys will be there. I'm guessing. Would not be surprised to see some of them hanging out on the couches, perhaps.
And I'm looking at this. This is a pretty intense day one schedule. So the 6 teams participating are Cloud9, Thunder Predator. It's a Peruvian squad. Team Liquid, OG Seed, Fnatic, and Evil Geniuses. So an interesting mix of teams here. Pretty representative of the regions, but I don't know. It's just a cool mix of squads that I'm pretty excited to watch.
Hey, man, leave it to North America to create a LAN that even Evil geniuses can win.
Yeah, right.
This-
And so
All
six.
right,
It's
easy. If you don't win this, guys, you got serious problems.
So, but format-wise, it's a 2-day group stage. It's sort of similar to the Starladder Minor, except it's a full team round robin because it's only 6 teams instead of 2 groups of 4 with GSL. So, day 1 has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 matchups. All of them are 2-game series, and some of them do run side by side because you would not be able to do all this in one day.
That's good. That would not make. Wait, are you sure?
Yes, not all of them run side. So
oh yeah.
they
I
have
see
an
what you're saying.
opener that's its own thing, and then they have a couple heats that are side by side, and it looks like they have a closer that runs as its own thing. An interesting way to do it. So then day 2 will be the group stage, and then that will seed teams into a playoff double elim bracket. It looks like top 4 of the group go into the upper bracket, and then bottom 2, are they eliminated or do they go lower bracket?
Eliminated, judging by the.
Oh, yeah. Okay, it's
they're
eliminated
because 6 make it, right? So
top 4.
yeah, I wonder if they're doing a remote stream.
I doubt it. I mean, it's the VTS studio, dude. They've got enough that they could do 3 streams from their studio, easy peasy.
Oh yeah, because you're doing 4-man caster style. Yeah, okay, that makes more sense. Yeah.
And like you have players on those teams that will also cast. So
they'll probably do like couch cast stream 1 and maybe just a duo for stream 2.
something like that. That would be my guess.
They'll have the double setup going on, but of course, Summit means content. Looks like they're going for some sort of like a horror theme or something.
Yeah,
cool.
I like that VTS has also really embraced the themes. You know, that was something that the first time we tried it, like when we dove into Midas Mode 1, I think everybody was like, yo, themes are fucking awesome. That made my life so much easier. I got to fuck around and I had like a whole topic to make jokes about. And I'm glad to see BTS do something similar. Now, there's 2 talent shout-outs here I want to make.
Ah, yes.
Number 1, you already did half shout-out. Our boy Pop-Tart, America's greatest observer. He will be alongside Weppus. So
what a crowning achievement.
Not Weppus and
You
Scriff.
had to defeat Mott and Blaze. Congratulations, Pop-Tart.
But it's interesting that it's not Scriff and Weppus, but Pop-Tart and Weppus. So Pop-Tart, take some notes, man. Pull out the old notebook and see what one of Dota's best observers has to offer. Now, number 2, Daniel Offen, known as Mr. Big Jams. Not a fan of the handle, but if you...
What? His handle's sick, dude.
Mr. Big Jams. If you subscribe to... He also needs to make himself a Liquipedia page. I think it's about time there, bud. He runs a podcast now on the Join Dota network. It's called the Position 6 Podcast. He used to do it just on his own on SoundCloud, and I hope Join Dota bought it. I hope he's not doing it for free on Join Dota, though I don't know. But super consistent podcast. It's a guest-focused show. So every week he has however consistent it is, roughly every week, has a different guest on. I think you've been on it at least once. I know I've been on it twice.
Yep.
Big fan. I think he is a very talented interviewer. I admire his dedication to the consistency of the podcasting world. Dota very much needed more of these consistent podcasts that don't just get abandoned after 10 episodes. So call me a fan. Yeah, and this is kind of his breakout event, though. You know, he's mostly been doing online stuff. And I've been in contact with him a little bit. Like, I've tried to give him some advice here and there, and he's kind of asked me, like, how do I make the next jump? And one of the things that I know he's interested in is, creative work, script writing and, coming up with skits and funny ideas. And as content is becoming more prolific, I've been, sort of suggesting to folks, like, everyone wants to be the person that's on camera delivering, but in the real world, there's a whole team of people that write the content and come up with the concept, and then the people on camera are the actors that read the script and execute. It's weird that we have Slacks that does everything, where he comes up with the idea, and then he writes the script, and then he fields the other people, and then he also stars in it as the host. Usually, it's delineated a little bit, and it's sort of like Malistrix. He is on camera some, but he's a little bit more of like, he writes the content, comes up with the sketch, and then finds the talent to actually execute the sketch. So I'm excited. I don't want to put too much pressure on my boy here, but I hope he nails it, dude. I want to see Mr. Big Jams at more events.
I think interviews is definitely his big thing, but he also, as you said, I guess he wrote like 2 or 3 skits, he said? So he's
Something like that. Yeah.
yeah. So
I
looking
know
forward
he's
to,
got
he
a
asked
lot
me
of
the same
ideas.
stuff. Yeah, he asked me the same kind of stuff, but like, what's the next step? And I was like, you just gotta, keep grinding as much as it is, and then just like talk to organizers. And I assume he probably reached out to BTS if I had to guess.
I would hope
And
so. I
they're
mean,
taking a chance, and I love it.
speaking anecdotally though, like BTS has always been aware of content. Even when I was a new hire and we didn't have any extra bandwidth or any extra budget, LD was always thinking about, hey, if this is an opportunity to make funny content, we should definitely do it. I don't have the resources to invest in, procuring really good content, but I still see the value in content. And that was why they hired me, because I was doing the Dota radio shit and they wanted more show content with their brand. So I could totally see the angle here where somebody at BTS was like, yo, this guy might be worth a shot. Let's hire him and see what he can do, because they've been stepping up the content, dude. The last couple summits have been like premier content. All the shit they've been doing in Smash and everywhere else, like,
yeah, the Smash
dude,
ones are unbelievably funny.
BTS is top tier content production. Dakota's a creative genius, dude. I'm not surprised. Isn't he
Have
like
you
the
ever
lead of their
seen,
creative team these days?
Have you ever seen I'm Stalling with Hungrybox? Did I show you that one?
I think so. Yes.
I mean, that, like,
Is
if
that
you
the
guys think
song?
their content for Dota, yeah, that's
Yeah,
the song
yeah,
with
yeah.
Hungrybox singing. Like, some of their content for Melee and for Ultimate is just crazy good, and obviously for the Summit too. But it's very impressive.
Yeah. And
But,
our boy Dan, one of their creative camera guy, sells Dan short. He is so much more than that. But they really have a great creative team over there. So I'm always excited when a summit is announced. Man, a minor just ended. Now I've got all this Dota to watch to fill this void before the next major. This is fucking incredible, man.
Yee. Let us watch the Dota. Oh man, I want to play some Dota this week. That would be lovely.
Yeah, I've been grinding a little bit. I've had a little bit of time.
Tell me about your times. I must hear the life of Zyori. I love it when I open my Dota client and I see Zyori ranked game level 6. Nothing pleases me more when I have my morning coffee than holding my baby and watching a Zyori game.
Yeah, it's always a roller coaster. I had
greatly.
I had a really weird since Midas mode, my whole solo queue MMR journey has been very weird. I was like starting to push. I was like 36, 3,700, something like that. And then Midas mode, there were calibration games, and I think I went like 1-9, 2-8 in my. Oh no, it was split. So it was really bad though. Like I lost a lot of calibration games. So the MMR tanked quite a bit. I was down to about 3K. I'm back up to about 3,300. The trench is pretty real. I've been trying to expand out what I play now. I'm not just playing support. I'm playing a little position 3, maybe a little position 1. I still don't touch mid. And I've just been trying to get back in the swing of it. It's weird how long it takes to get your muscle memory back, to really feel like I'm proactively thinking. Like I'm thinking about the other support's position, and like like when you haven't played in a month and then you start playing, you're just like, I'm so slow.
Oh,
you feel like
dude,
you're just.
I played that game.
Yeah, you're just reacting to everyone instead of reading the game.
You have no forethought at all. You are just like, you're going through these like really out of date habits because you haven't played in a couple weeks and everything's slow, and it's like 6 minutes and you have like 1,200 gold and you're like, oh right, yeah, what am I building this game? Like, oh god, the first game back is always so bad.
Yeah. So, but recently I've been trying to just really focus on my economy. I've been trying to like train myself to resist the urge of like, they're bad, let's just kill them. I think that's a classic 3K fallacy. It's like, yeah, they're bad, so let's just outfarm them and then kill them in 20 minutes when they don't have any items.
Slacks.
Yeah, well, it's a tempting mentality, because if you do just run over, that's the easiest way to grind MMR. Run over all 3 lanes and then just end it in 25 minutes. But that's not always easy to do, and it's that whole key part about breaking high ground at 20 minutes where a lot of those epic throws happen. So I've just been trying to encourage the team to back up, focus on farming, all that kind of stuff. It's been going pretty well. It feels good to make a little bit of positive progress. You play 12 hours of Dota, ending negative after 12 hours feels real shitty. I was +3 yesterday, so that was nice. I played an position 3 Ogre where I went Battle Fury. I went like straight carry Ogre. And the reason I did it was because I was against the Nature's Prophet, and it was actually legit, dude. I was pushing out lanes like crazy. I was solo killing that Prophet, man. It was great. Blink, crit, basher. Dude, I carried the fuck out of that game. You know what Ogre's like at level 20 when you have plus 100 damage and the plus 60 increased attack speed and you've got a goddamn Battle Fury? Do you know how fast you fucking farm?
Why did you just buy a Midas?
Because I can't clear creep waves with a Midas. That profit.
You're Ogre. You actually can.
Well, you kind of can, but the Battle Fury felt right. And we won, Trent. It was one of the most satisfying wins I ever had because my teammates flamed me the entire fucking game. And I had to mute them because they were so nice and they were just like, I really don't think Battle Fury on Ogre is that good. And I was like, I know! I'm buying it for the game, guys. I didn't come into this game saying I'm going to go Battle Fury Ogre. I looked at it. I was getting a lot of farm. It felt right. Just go with it. Go with it, guys. Come on. Then when we won, I said, see, it wasn't that bad. And Dark Will on my team just said, ... I still think Battle Fury Ogre sucks. But those are the wins that are the most satisfying because it was like we just kind of outplayed them. You know, it's like those little moments where you're like, I know I did something really weird, but because I farmed and just played generally good Dota with positioning and when to take team fights and didn't flame my team, we just won because we played better. And
you handicapped yourself and still won.
That was the real takeaway. Yes, indeed.
Very impressive.
Unfortunately, that game led me to the position 1 Ricky Battle Fury, which I did play a position 3 Void offlane. Also went Battle Fury. Don't recommend. Get a Maelstrom. Battle Fury Void fucking sucks.
Oh, you probably should have told Nico Baby that.
I also went Battle Fury Aghanims, thinking that the Aghanims still reduce the cooldown of Chrono. My team was pinging my Aghanims like, bro, why did you buy this? And 30 minutes into the game, I read it and went, oh, this is kind of cool. And it is a badass Aghanims, though, because you initiate on people and you just like AoE bash their whole team. It's actually pretty sick, but I had to play around my own hand. We also won that game. So it was a really fun day of pubs. I won some, I lost some. Very satisfying wins, though.
Wow, dude. Thank you. I'm so glad I asked these questions. I can't believe people get upset when casters... You should talk about your pubs during a cast. I guarantee people won't get mad like they do whenever any other caster does.
Yeah, there you go. At least I don't pretend to justify it. You know, like halfway through the game, I think my team was just like, I don't know if that Battle Fury is very good. And I was like, no, it's definitely not. This was a failed experiment, boys. Don't worry. We had a sniper, though. So I just had to chrono and let my sniper do the work. I know my job. I know. That's why I wanted the Aghanims. I knew my job so well. I did also have an alarming game where I played Centaur, and I had the best start ever. Like, I was just dumpstering this Clinks in lane. He couldn't touch the creeps. I was sniping all the last hits. And then I went Heart for some reason instead of, like, Crimson. And I had 6k HP, and I just died in 2 seconds to the Lion Clinks Ricky. They would jump on me, and I felt so confident. It's like, guys, I got my heart. Let's go. And I died in 2 seconds in the next fight. I was so embarrassed.
Can I read your items here? 6-minute hood. Nice.
Yeah.
14-minute blink. Hype. 17-minute boots of travel. You thought you were some hot shit, didn't you? Thought this game's over.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. I was like, I'm split pushing, baby. I'm running fast. We're going BOTs. And that was the beginning of the end.
And then you bought a 32-minute heart. You spent 15 minutes farming a heart.
But, dude, the first 15 minutes of that game, that was like the best Centaur I ever played. That Clinks was so sad.
Wow.
Yeah, 5 armor Centaur. He went for Desolator first item. That Clinks did the math. And
yeah, he certainly did.
I needed to turn off the Netflix and think about my item build a little more. That was another one. 30 minutes in, my teammates just were like, ... I think Crimson would have been better. It's like, you're totally right. You're totally right. It's really fun to fuck up and then have your team call you out and not react negatively because they don't know what to do. If you just respond like, yeah, you're totally right. Crimson is the item here. I'm an idiot. And they go, oh, that was a weird level of self-awareness. Okay.
Hey, man, your farm was still good. I mean, you still did all right these games, surprisingly.
Centaur's really easy to farm with, dude. That hero is surprisingly good. I don't know if it's just like the new bracket that I'm in, but he hits really hard in lane. He's really beefy. Against those like lion-esque supports, they can't harass you in lane. The retaliate does more damage than they do to you.
Yeah.
He's pretty dumb.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well done, Zayori. Well done.
It's been fun. So yeah, it feels good to enjoy playing Dota though. You know, I have this thing, especially with minors, I have trouble just watching the minor. I need to be like...
Yes, I agree. You want to play instead.
Or play or talk to somebody or like do chores or whatever. Like majors, sometimes I will sit down and go, okay, the finals are fucking hype. I want to pay attention. But the minors, I'm just a little I feel like I'm like Merlini in the games. I watch 10 minutes, I get the gist and go, yeah, okay, Aster won this game. I see why they picked Alchemist. Cool. I don't need the nitty gritty, but
There's not as much mystique or anything. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's for sure. So,
Are
right.
you gonna stream these people your pubs, or do you have to like go work your life now?
Oh,
you should. I mean,
should I stream
after all that
pubs?
excitement, I just can't imagine there's nothing these people want more than a Battle Fury Ogre game.
Ooh, I mean, I probably should do some work, but
It's either you or Febby Dog.
ooh. I don't know. I do that thing where I played so much yesterday. I was planning on working today. I did nothing but play Dota yesterday. I did
Streaming Dota is working, dude.
literally
That's
nothing.
promoting the podcast. Just put the title of the podcast in your stream title.
You know,
and you're
might have sold
advertising.
me. All right, let's do it. I can play a Centaur game. I'm ready to show the world what I got. All right. So I guess that's the end of the podcast here, folks. Thank you for joining us for episode 9. Starladder complete. And now we've got a lot more Dota to look forward to. Dota Summit number 12 by LootBet. And after that, it is the Los Angeles Major by ESL. So we'll be back next week. Easy podcast. We'll have so much Dota to talk about. And good luck to all parties involved with the events coming up. We'll catch you next time. YouTube, iTunes, all that stuff. Shared Tangos, baby. Bye-bye.